This workbook page outlines step 4 of a program called Moral Recognition Therapy, or MRT. The assignment demands something grueling, accounting for every single one of the 168 hours in a week on this blank list. The goal is to push a person out of a psychological stage called uncertainty. By forcing you to tally every activity in your life, the therapy intended to strip away the fog and leave you with total, unavoidable awareness of how you spend your days. Enter David. He takes this assignment to a meticulous extreme. He divides his life into 6 distinct territories, ranging from family to chores to AI immersion, listing the specific people and tasks on these bookmarks. Looking at his hand-drawn tracking sheets, you can see how rigorously he maps his movements. He plots dense, shaded activity blocks across graph paper, detailing physical actions and household chores hour by hour. Every minute is logged, categorized, and shaded. But as these hand-drawn records pile up, they create a math so dense it consumes the very time it was supposed to measure. Digitizing those logs into this master spreadsheet reveals the hard math of his week. The legend and tally section shows a massive imbalance, 70 hours immersed in AI, while his family time sits at just 2 hours. David doesn't just hand this in to his facilitator. He turns the audit into a 169-page manifesto and records a podcast about the process, which he literally titles, "Writing 169 Pages to Avoid His Wife." This is self-awareness as a defense mechanism. David has found a way to document his avoidance in excruciating detail, turning the distance between him and his family into a project to be analyzed, rather than a gap to be closed. Psychologists call this cognitive armor. It's the act of using extreme intelligence and relentless self-analysis as a shield to keep real life at a distance. Think of it as a war between 2 spaces. On one side, you have the library, the intellectual mind running recursive loops of data and analysis. On the other side, you have the kitchen, the messy, physical, relational reality that simply asks for your presence. The author David Foster Wallace described this as the default setting. It's the mind's automatic preference to stay in a self-centered analytical loop, treating the outside world as background noise. The library is seductive because it offers the feeling of working on yourself. It provides progress without the vulnerability required to actually stand in the kitchen with another person. To see how deep this setting runs, we have to look at David's kitchen time, the hours spent in the backyard or taking walks, to see if he is actually present. This sheet logs his weekend. The middle shows large blocks labeled backyard, but check the notes below. Those blocks overlap with AI activities. Even doing yard work, he's consuming AI podcasts on his phone. He's made his library portable. This is the default setting in motion. The mind stays centered on its own generative activity, even when the body is outdoors. Naming the document, "The Thing I Hide Behind," didn't solve the problem. It just made the avoidance part of the performance. David takes all of this, the grids, the spreadsheets, the podcasts, and feeds it into an AI, asking for another elegant breakdown of his flaws. But the loop finally breaks. The AI refuses to play the game. Instead of returning another sprawling psychoanalysis, it delivers a blunt, literal instruction. The machine points out a glaring fact buried in David's own notes. His wife is leaving for Taiwan this weekend, and he is spending their remaining time making podcasts about her. Even the machine recognized that the most self-aware move was to stop the analysis entirely. The AI's final advice to David is to put down the field instruments, stop harvesting data for podcasts, and go find her. True self-awareness isn't found in a 169-page manifesto or a perfectly categorized list of your faults. At some point, the inventory is done. The library must yield to the kitchen. The most profound step of self-improvement is closing the laptop, walking into the next room, and looking at the person in front of you.